Early signing day for the 2025 high school class is tomorrow, and Hugh Freeze and his Auburn Tigers are pushing to finish with a top 5 class. Let's get in here and break it down on this live edition of the Uptempo podcast. Yes, sir. Auburn family of Tempo Gang. What's up, everybody? Dustin Smith, Blake Lane coming at y'all. Tuesday edition of the Uptempo podcast on the eve of early signing day, Blake. And I remember a time not too long ago when we weren't all that fired up. There wasn't much to be excited about, but Hugh Freeze has come in. If he's shown us anything, man, it's that he can acquire talent. He knows how to recruit from the high school ranks. So we're going to get in here tonight, talk about some intel, talk about how we think the class is going to finish, and just kind of show some love, man, to Hugh Freeze and the staff, because the season was disappointing. I don't think it's what anybody expected, but I fully expect Auburn to finish with a top 5 class tomorrow, and it's really, really impressive, man. So how are you doing tonight, Blake, and how are you feeling on this signing day eve?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. Feeling great for the Auburn Tigers. And guess what, Auburn basketball fans? Dustin and I just did a crossover pod with the 5 Point Play podcast representing the Duke Blue Devils. I think it's great content, y'all. I'm going to post it shortly after we get off of here. So you'll have that at the end of tonight, going into tomorrow before the game, man. Check it out. I think it's great stuff. But tomorrow is like, as an adult, you follow college football. You love college football. Tomorrow is your Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay. Tomorrow is your Christmas. And, they always tell me, they say, Blake, don't let these 17, 18 to 22-year-old kids, don't let them affect the outcome of your day. But, boy, tomorrow it holds a ton of weight for Blake's day, all right? It holds a ton of weight for how I continue the day. And, hey, Coach Hugh Freeze, he's done his thing, maybe not on the field, but off the field, going to these kids' homes, at the high schools on Friday nights and things like that. We need those to turn into Saturday nights, but he's done his thing, and Auburn is prepared to sign a top 5 class, maybe even higher. We'll wait and find out tomorrow. There's going to be some flips. There's going to be some kids flip to Auburn. Like, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. One thing we can tell you is this thing is not falling apart, y'all. Yeah. Stop the panic. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Relax. Calm. Wake up in the morning. Make you a nice cup of coffee. Get ready for your day, because it's going to be a fun one. There's been a lot of panic, but we're going to be okay. We're going to be all right. I remember Hugh Freeze after Texas A&M saying, hurry up and get your butts here.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's the day. Let's sign the dotted line. Let's pass out some checks. Let's get the NIL hot and ready. And let's start winning some ball games, son. Like, get these dudes here. Let's develop them. And let's start winning some games.
Yeah, it'll be the first time in a very long time that Auburn has stacked top 10 classes. I don't, off the top of my head, I don't remember. Maybe y'all could help us in the chat. The first time Auburn's had a top 5 class. So you're going to go in the next year, Blake, and we know Auburn's going to be big spenders in the portal. We're going to go in the next year with the most talented roster that Auburn's had in quite a long time, like at least 10 years, I would say. Is that crazy to say?
Yeah, I mean, like, you're right. You've been down, man. You've been down. Like, the 2019 roster was pretty dang good on defense.
Yeah.
On defense. It was just one half of that roster. Like, the offensive side, you had a true freshman. You were kind of like, receiver didn't really have it. You had your one guy and Seth and all that. Like, it was just, I think that 2019, like 9-3, that was your last like breath of fresh air. And then everything after that, man, like, since that 2014 roster, really and truly, I mean, that 2014 roster, I mean, even if you look at the 2014 roster, that defense was awful. That defense was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
So I mean, yeah, like it's been a minute for you to like stack classes, have this much talent on an Auburn football roster. It's crazy to even think about that you're 5-7 and you're about to sign this type of recruiting class. What happens when Auburn goes 9-3 or 10-2 possibly? Like, what kind of class does Auburn sign then? Got to be unanimous number one. If you're signing the number 5 class at 5-7, you tack 5 more puppies onto that thing. You got to be 1 or 2. I mean, I think look. It's got to be exciting tomorrow, y'all. That's where I sit. Is we've had a lot of doom and gloom. Like the past 4 months, they've sucked. So why not make tomorrow a win? Make it a win. Like Auburn's, they're in big boy recruiting, like you always say, Dustin. You say, hey, this is big boy recruiting battles. You're in the midst of signing amongst the best, man. Anytime I see a graphic and it's Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas, and Auburn, and LSU right behind that, I'm sitting here going, man, that list looks like some people that have won some national championships in the past couple of years, huh? Like, yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm taking tomorrow as a dub.
Yeah, absolutely. When you talk about big boy recruiting, the Deuce Knight situation is a perfect example of that. You got a 5-star quarterback, of course, some schools are going to come in late and try to push. Malik Autry, we're feeling good about that one, but the last 24, 48 hours, you saw some things trending over on the Florida boards that they thought they were starting to pick up some momentum. Then you see some Auburn people saying today, hey, we feel like, we're back good on that one, and boy, has Florida been on a heater. So when I saw that trending over there on their side, I was like, uh-oh, like that might not be the best thing for us, because I think we all love Malik. But that's just part of it. When you have top guys like Auburn has committed, sometimes guys are going to come get them. And at the same, we gotta be fair with it, and we gotta trust Hugh Freeze, because we've seen he's going to go get them. Like, so we might lose a guy or two, and the way that recruiting has changed over the past 10 years, back when it was February 2nd, February 3rd, depending on how it fell, that first week of February, when that was signing day, National Signing Day, like, you couldn't go to work, because there was literally going to be 7, 8, 9 decisions that you really didn't necessarily know the outcome to. The hat flip, like, you were really looking, waiting. You didn't know what hat they were going to put on. And there was a lot of that going on back then. With the way that with the portal and the NIL and just the way the whole college game has changed, kids like to commit in the summer. They like to take their visits in that spring and summer period and get committed before their senior year. That way they're locked into a class. And then what you have happen in this last week is you're always going to have, at least under this current model, you're going to have 2 to 3, 4 guys that leave your class, and you're going to bring in 2 to 3, 4 as you kind of finalize your board, and maybe an offer gets thrown here and you have to go to your backup plan, or you find out, hey, maybe you can pull this guy that you didn't think you could, and then you take a guy and they have to go to their backup plan. So there's just a lot of kind of moving and shaking as it goes. And this happened to us today. 4-star defensive lineman Nate Marshall flipped to Michigan. Michigan, they've been doing their thing. They're coming in late. It's kind of funny to watch some of these teams like Texas, Florida, and I know a lot of that has to do with the Billy Napier situation. Oregon, they always got money. And Michigan, they've all kind of held out and made this late push, this late NIL push with a lot of prospects. And me and you were talking about before we hit record, it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same thing that we applied to Alvin Henderson, like when he committed to Penn State. It's like, you're really going to go? You're really going to go all the way up to Pennsylvania? Young man from Elba, Alabama. Nate Marshall is from that area. He's from Illinois. I don't know exactly how close his hometown is to Ann Arbor, but I'm sure it's a lot closer than Auburn, Alabama. And Michigan's writing checks. I'm not saying that's the only reason why. And look, Nate's an athletic kid, played he has tape that's like wide receiver, a big boy out there. He's juking people and all that. He's super athletic. But... and we'll talk about this as the episode goes on, I think this D-line class is really, really strong. And now kind of looking over at potential flip targets, I think when you look at a guy like Darian Smith, Blake, I think Auburn flips Darian Smith from Tennessee tomorrow. And then you've got the big one in Naheem Offord, the number 1 cornerback, committed to Ohio State. But it kind of feels like it's a Oregon, Auburn, Alabama battle. And I know that you've kind of quietly been confident and collecting some intel for a while that's made you feel confident on Naheem is ultimately going to finish up as an Auburn Tiger. You still feeling good on that?
Yeah, man. I believe Naeem Offord is going to end up with the Auburn Tigers tomorrow. I felt like that for quite some time, and there's some things that I've heard, and I just Oregon could make a run, y'all.
Yeah.
Oregon that they very well could make a run. I tell y'all all the time, their NIL is endless. Their facilities are some of the best I have ever witnessed with my own two eyes. It is absolutely incredible. It's phenomenal. And Dan Lanning is working wonders up there. They got a building up there they call the Mo Center. They're absolutely tearing it down and building bigger, better, nicer facility up there. Like, it's just Phil Knight has pushed all the tokens in, all the chips in, and he said, "Hey, I want to win a national championship before I pass away, and I want to see Oregon on the top of the college football world." So, could they offer a bag, and could the kid go from Birmingham, Alabama to Eugene, Oregon? Possibly, but I think the kid wants to stay at home. I think there's connections to a school here in the state of Alabama that I think he wants to uh, have his family see him play at Auburn University. And you might lose a guy like Donovan Starr, Dustin. You might have a guy like that fall out of your class. But hell, I'm not sitting here shaking my head. If Donovan Starr flips to Alabama or Vanderbilt, and I'm not. Oh, it's falling apart. No, it's not. We're fine. We're getting the number one corner in the country. Like, Naeem Offord is him, man. Like, look, watching Friday night. There's a big battle Friday night. Like,
Yeah.
uh, he's a hell of a player, man. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and sweat if Donovan does flip, which he's expected to, because you're getting the number one guy. You're getting the best of the best. And I do think he ends up an Auburn Tiger, and I've stuck with that, and I'm sticking with it tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm with you too. And Auburn Desk, I see you down there saying would rather Star go to Vandy. Yeah, definitely looks like Alabama's
Yeah.
going to be the choice there. But I think it's interesting. He pushed it back to Friday, and I wonder how much of that is what if Oregon comes in late? Naheem ends up going to Oregon, and then all of a sudden Donovan says, "I'll stay with Auburn," and I think that's a lot of what that pushing it back to Friday is, Blake.
That could be it. That could be it. You never know, man. Look, like Dustin always says, this is big boy recruiting. There's strategic moves being made behind the scenes that we really don't know what is going on. The only people that know is, like we talked about earlier, the head coaches, the families, and the kids, man. You see crystal balls put in and everything like that. Sometimes those crystal balls are wrong. You never know. Like, that's the reason they switch them up. They place one 3 weeks early, in the last couple of days they say, "Oh, okay, well, let me go in there and change it. I'm hearing this." Nobody truly knows except the kids and a couple of people around him, man. So I still like Naeem Offord with the Auburn Tigers. I do. I think it
Yeah,
works out that way.
it's funny you say that, Blake, because I did the member pod yesterday, like good 20 to 25 minutes, just kind of updating everybody on intel, and I said I don't think we have anything to worry about with Nate Marshall, and then I wake up in the morning and I have a message on my Twitter saying we have everything to worry about with Nate Marshall, and I'm like, oh, well, I don't have time to record that and get it up before it happens. So it's just it's fluid, man, and in this day and age and in this time, we know how hard Bama worked on this night last year to get Perry in that class.
Yeah, and look, Nate Marshall did flip, and I know there was a widespread of panic from the Auburn fan base, like, Auburn, oh, here it goes, like,
Yeah.
no way it's happening. Y'all, Kenyatta tweets out as soon as it happens, and he says, "Hey, man, stop panicking. I got it under control. All right, don't worry. Like, big things are happening tomorrow. Like, I got us." So is that a what, Dustin? A Justice Terry? Like, his thing's Friday. Auburn supposedly made a move there. Like, some people still think Georgia. Who else could it be? Like, uh, you know, did Malik Autry, did that thing close up? Like, does he stay home? Where is Auburn looking now? Kenyatta seems to think Auburn's going to be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, if you flip a 4-star Darian Smith from Tennessee tomorrow, who's a playoff team, and you flip a number one corner in the country from Ohio State, but you're basically beating out Oregon, who's the number one team in the country, like then everything's fine. Like, and then you keep this class that you've already like. That's the thing too, man. Is I said what I said about the about signing day being like I went through how it had changed because I feel like we're not excited about people like Anquan Fagans and Eric Winters anymore just because they committed so long ago. They're still the players that we were excited about when they committed. And it's still going to be just as exciting when we add them tomorrow. So it's like, I just feel like that kind of happens a lot. And now we're looking like, all right, who are the guys that we could possibly flip that we don't know about yet? Man, going 5-7 and keeping an Anquan Fagans from Tuscaloosa, keeping an Eric Winters from Georgia, from Alabama, of Tennessee, like that's huge, man. The situation, everybody wanted Auburn to give up on Antonio Coleman. I'm tired of this kid. Hugh Freeze said no. Let me get him to Big Cat, okay? And everything's gonna be fine. He's gonna sign with Auburn tomorrow. So I just keeping a lot of these guys in the class is a big win in itself after how we saw the season go. So when you have high 4-star, in some situation 5-star guys, that last day or two, people are going to call. People are going to call with big bags. But people called a lot of our top recruits last year at the final moments, and those kids still decided to sign with Auburn. And Auburn's making some last-minute calls too. So listen, I think that this one thing, Blake, I worry about this coaching staff with 30 seconds to go and one timeout in the second quarter. Yeah. I don't worry about this staff when it comes to acquiring talent, dude. I don't.
And Dustin, I just wanted to pull up, and Brad, I get this 100%, man. Sorry for the pessimism, guys. This season just has me feeling like there's a huge letdown brewing, and what he means by huge there is Hugh. All right. And Brad, Brad, appreciate the comment, man. Look, I get it, right? And Dustin and I, we were actually talking about this a little bit earlier today, is if they're still on board the night before, most of them aren't jumping overboard. Yeah. Like, it's not just going to completely fall apart tomorrow. Could we lose a guy or two, or like could Neem Offord not flip to us? Yes, that could happen. But we're still going to finish top 10. Like, we're not falling smooth off the face of the earth, all right? Because if it was that bad, these kids would have been way off.
Like Florida last year.
Yes. Yeah, that's a perfect example. Now, hey, like that G5 Billy's got something cooking up over
yes,
there.
Sir.
But I mean, that's kind of where I sit right now is if they're still on the boat right now, I don't see a whole lot of them jumping off tomorrow. I think a lot of these kids are going to get a good night's sleep. They're going to wake up and they're going to know, hey, I love Auburn. I want to play at Auburn. And look, let's be honest. This staff can recruit with the best of them. These kids know that they can come into Auburn and make a difference immediately. Immediately. Look at all the freshmen that made differences this year. I know Auburn only won 5 games, but my God, we had to be one of the youngest teams in the country. I didn't think that many freshmen were going to get on the field this year, y'all. I didn't. But we were one of the youngest teams to do it this year.
We had the youngest defense in the country. We're the youngest team in the SEC and the youngest defense in the entire country.
There you go. So now, hey, when you really look at it, I think these kids see an opportunity. And when Hugh stands up on the in the post game and he's giving his speech and he says, "Hey, get your tails here, man. Let's go win something." I think they're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and they say, "Hey, look, man, like, yeah, let me get there ASAP. I'm running to it. Like, let's go," because there's an opportunity. So that's just where I get it, Brad. I 100% do, man, and I appreciate the comment. Dustin, like, I mean, do you have any like pushback or like?
No, I'm 100% with you, man. It's there's not enough time for the class to fall apart.
Yeah.
There's not enough time. Like signing day is tomorrow. If it was going to fall apart, you would have been seeing this. You would have been started. Y'all know how much stuff gets out at this point. Y'all know like there's an entire industry built around this.
Yeah.
There would be a lot more rumblings. There would be a lot more smoke if this class was going to fall apart. That's just not like if everything that is potentially on the table doesn't work out, then Auburn would finish like maybe 7th or 8th. And how bad is that after going 5-7? And I mean, I'm gonna tell y'all, man. After that Oklahoma loss, I said, "There's no way this stays." And then after Missouri, I was like, "There's no way. I thought there's no way." And they've done it, man. And it's just it's what this staff is good at, and I think they're gonna crush the portal too. I think that they're gonna crush the portal.
And you know, we talk about recruiting, and everybody's like, "Well, that damn Yellowwood, he's over there and he's cutting them checks. He's cutting them checks. That's how Auburn's only getting them players." Well, okay. Well, what's Michigan doing right now? Because they ain't doing much better than us on the field. Yeah, they just won a national championship, but this year they fell smooth apart. So what are they doing? Like they're over here offering a quarterback $14 million over a 4-year period. Everybody's writing checks, y'all. It's still recruiting. Like, Hugh still got to go in the homes and make the deals and say, "Hey, look, man, this is what I want from you at Auburn University." Like, it's still big boy recruiting. The money is just part of it. And you still got to make the trips, man, like you saw in the Perry documentary. Right. Hugh roll in there. You see Marcus Davis right there on his side and say, "Hey, look, man, we got to have you at Auburn." And there you go. That's another thing. Look, the Auburn fans, you panic and you panic and you panic. And, you know, I look at Perry, Dustin, and I say, "Hey, I think this kid gets it." You know, we're 4 weeks into the season and people are worrying about who's going to hit the transfer portal. "Oh, he's not playing. He's hitting the transfer portal." And I'm just like, look, man, we got KLS, one of the best wide receivers in the country, in front of Perry. Perry releases that on Twitter and says, "Hey, man, thank you. I appreciate you. You took me under your wing. You taught me so much." I think we gotta tone it back a little bit. Like, we gotta take a deep breath as Auburn fans. We're going to be okay, y'all. We're gonna get back. Let's get through tomorrow. That one was weighing on me with the Perry thing. Like, I think Perry's going to do big things for Auburn, man. I do not see Perry Thompson going to the portal. And I think we're going to be okay in recruiting, y'all. Like, I don't think it's going to fall apart. We're not, clinging for a lifeboat right now. Maybe on the field at 5-7, but in recruiting, I think we're just fine, Dustin.
Yeah, absolutely. Tomorrow's going to be fun, man. So Darian Smith is currently committed to Tennessee, publicly and technically anyway, but I feel like tomorrow is going to be the flip. He is a 3-star on 3, 3-star on 24/7, 3-star on Rivals. So consensus 3-star. Rivals has him ranked as the number 36 defensive lineman in the country. And yeah, and then so the RPM prediction here is they got in on 3 is a 98% prediction. But yeah, and everyone's been hearing good things about that one. He's the teammate of Bryce Diaz and the teammate of Blake Woodby up there at St. Francis Academy in Baltimore. So Blake, if you would have told me Auburn's going to sign 3 guys from Baltimore, Maryland, same team. Yep. Wouldn't have been expecting that, man. But shout out to the staff. Shout out to DJ Durkin using that connection to get 3 elite defenders from what was one of the best high school teams in the entire country. So just really excited for everything that the staff has put together. And then I've also been getting a lot of questions about Usman Chroma. A couple of days ago, we were kind of hearing some positive things, but it seems like Georgia, kind of like the Malik Autry situation, it seems like Georgia's kind of been able to lock that one down, and that Auburn's really going to have to go into the portal because that'll leave you with, we'll see what Jeremiah does, we'll see what Damari does, but as of now, going to leave you with Damari, Jeremiah, and then Alvin coming in. And then, hey, how about the I saw a lot of interesting people, Blake, retweeting the tweet from Hardy, the ULM running back, saying that he was entering the portal. I think that Auburn's going to be hard after Mr. Hardy there. and trying to get him into the boat. And that would be a big-time get for Auburn. He was an absolute stud at Louisiana Monroe this year. And we saw that when we played him. Kid's a dog.
Yeah, he ran hard, man. I was really impressed, and there was kind of whispers like as that game was going on, they were like, "Hey, do we go get this guy in the portal? We're probably going to need a running back." You know, Damari. I hope Damari stays, man. I really do. I hope Damari Austin stays, and I hope Jeremiah Cobb stays. But I could see one of them leaving. I don't know if both of them leave. I know some people have said they're both out of here. I don't know if they both leave because I think Damari really got on the field, especially towards the end of the year. You know, you saw him get some big touches in the Iron Bowl. I don't think there's a reason for Damari to leave. So maybe Jeremiah. I think he could bounce, but I don't think there's a reason for Damari to leave. So that leaves you two with Alvin coming in. You would have to go to the portal, and I think that's the guy that you're really targeting, man. And I think he would make the move to Auburn. I do.
Yeah, I do too. And you have you can show him what Jarquez Hunter did this year, and I think you can sell that. So it would keep your eyes on that one. Last year, it was the Freeze Four, right? Everyone knew that Auburn had to infuse talent into the wide receiver room. That was where a lot of the focus was. Is there a position group this year, Blake, that you're looking at and you're really impressed with? And then you're talking about in the 2025 class.
Yeah, I think what we're doing up front on the defensive side of the ball and across that D line, man. I think that's where it starts, and maybe this staff gets it. I know there's some questions on the other side, but it's starting to worry a couple of us. But there's time to get it fixed. But D-line for sure sticks out, man. And look, when you lose a Nate Marshall, it's going to be okay. And I think you made a great point to that a while ago. Is we tell you all the time. Does it happen? Yes. All right. Does a kid from Illinois commit to an LSU or an Auburn or an Alabama? Yes. We got a couple guys from Maryland. Okay. But it's very, very rare at times for it to happen. Like you don't see a kid like Alvin, you explained it earlier. We're like, hey man, it's not going to happen. All right. It's just not. He's not going to Penn State. And everybody's like, man, that Alvin Henderson's a sellout. He's a sellout. Like, we hope he don't come to Auburn just because he committed to Penn State. It happens. Look, Kenyatta said, hey, we got a backup plan. Like, we're okay. Things are fine. You get what it takes to win in this conference, man, and that speaks volumes. And it's simply the talent is rolling in. Now you just got to start putting the product on the field, man, because what you're seeing is okay, Malik Blockton got on the field, was a star, showed out, had multiple games where he popped, and you were like I was looking at people I was watching the game with, and I was like, hey, true freshman. And they were like, what? They were like, 47 is a true freshman? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, and they were like, man, he's moving people like that, and he's a true freshman? And I'm like, yeah. We're getting there, man. We're getting the talent in, Dustin. I'm pleased with it.
Yeah, and that's one thing, too, that I was thinking about with the Donovan Starr situation and the Naheem Alford is it makes it impressive that if you pull off Naheem Alford from the standpoint of that's a young room where a lot of guys played and played well, and you've got to feel like Crawford's got that one of those sides locked up, and Kaden Lee didn't have the best year this year. I kind of expected him to play a little bit better than he did, but he wasn't bad. Now, I know that these guys are dogs and they feel like I'm going to come in there and I'm going to take the spot or whatever, but it's just really interesting to me because I kind of wonder how long Auburn will be able to sell the whole, you're going to be young, you can come here and play early as a young guy, but it's also, proof of concept type thing. Like you just said with Malik, it's like, hey, I got a true freshman. You came in here, you played. And when I look at a guy like Antonio Coleman, who I know that we have both gone up and watched play at Saraland, dude, he's so freaking explosive, man. At 6'2", 275, he's electric. Like, he's electric on the defensive line. And then you're looking at Jordan Crawford, who was an absolute beast.
Yep.
I remember back when we had Charlie Five on before the season, I asked him who's one guy you're most excited about. This was his answer: 6'1", 300 pounds. 247 has him as a 100th player in the country, number 8 in the state of Alabama, 4-star overall. Jacala Falk going to be kind of playing the edge position, so you can technically consider that defensive line. He's definitely going to be up front. That kid's an absolute freaking monster, man. How exciting is it going to be to see Keldrick on one edge, and then you can throw Caleb hopefully on the other? And then you got Malik. We feel like Auburn's is in a good spot there. 247 actually has Malik listed as a 5-star, number 31 player in the country, number 3 player in the state. And then the highest rated player in Auburn's class, according to 247, is Jared Smith, 6'6", 235 out of Thompson there. And boy, he just exploded. He had a couple games on national TV, man, where he just, remember early in the season, he had that one game, it's like week 1 or week 2, where he just went off. Yep. 25 player in the country, number 2 player in the state, committed to Auburn on August the 3rd. That is according to, those stats are according to 247 Sports. So, and that is a guy that Auburn's going to have to kind of fight to keep in the boat. We know that Ole Miss kind of pushed late. We know that South Carolina's coming in there, and with the year that both of the teams finished 9-3, I think the 9-3 for Ole Miss is disappointing versus the 9-3 for South Carolina is a bump, and they feel good about it. And that's a battle, but I think that I feel good about Jared Smith. And our member pod yesterday, Blake, I said like confidence level, I said 60%. I mean, I know that it's kind of got hairy here, but I just trust our staff, man. Here's how I look at it, Blake. If a guy is already committed to Auburn, like if you're trying to flip from Hugh Freeze, if he really wants the guy, that's tough. That's tough to do.
You remember his commitment? Do you remember the photos?
And everything? Yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah. He was wearing orange and blue in all those photos, y'all. Look, I know with everything that goes on in college football today, it might be a little different, but I know these kids, some of them, they still grow up and they love their childhood team. And he loved the Auburn Tigers, and he always has. So I know Ole Miss and I know South Carolina made a push, but I believe that he sticks in this class. And you might just end up seeing a lot of crystal ball tweets get deleted from a certain fan base tomorrow. Now, I could be wrong, but a fan base that told us that they were going to the national championship, and a fan base that lost to Kentucky at home and all that good stuff. So, and still 0 trips to Atlanta. So, yeah.
Texas came in and went first year, and Ole Miss still ain't been.
Missouri's been twice, and they still ain't been. Come on now, talk to me.
Yeah, and y'all helped found the damn league.
Oh.
Pathetic.
Yeah.
I think Jared Smith's going to be an Auburn Tiger, and just so, I agree with you, Blake. Up front, the defensive line,
no doubt.
It's one of those things where we saw it with Tracy Rocker back in the day. You can't fix that with one class. You've got to stack classes up front because Malik Blocktons are rare. Keldrick Falks are rare. That's why in each of the last 2 classes, there's been one true freshman D lineman get significant playing time because the SEC's built in the trenches. It's so weird to see people coming at Josh Pate about his love for the SEC, calling him the SEC homer because when he gives his playoff predictions and what what he thinks it should be, he has SEC teams in there. I challenge all the SEC haters out there, and there's not a whole lot in the chat, but what are the NFL GMs going to say on the draft? That's always going to be my fallback. What are the GMs going to say? Like, this is the toughest league. Having Boise State as a 4 seed, man, oh man, whatever with that. But listen, what you got, man? That's crazy to me, Blake. It's crazy to me.
So look, I'll say this about the whole G5 thing and this new playoff, and I know the new rankings are out. Bama's in and all that, I get it, y'all. But to Dustin's point on this G5 thing, Boise State as a top 4 seed, or in my opinion, any seed at all, a G5 team should never be in the college football playoff. A G5 player should never win the Heisman Trophy either. That's where I stand on it. They're a step below for a reason, y'all. They're a step below for a reason. And everybody that hits me with Genty ran for 200 yards against Oregon. Look, it was at the very beginning of the season, and there's not a week in and week out grind that you have to go through.
Yeah.
I don't think Genty would be getting 37 carries if he was playing in the SEC, and he would be running for 326 yards a Saturday. I'm sorry, I don't, and that's just how I feel about it. I strongly feel like a G5 team. I don't want to see Liberty and Oregon in the Fiesta Bowl like I had to watch last year, and it was 42-6 in the beginning of the third quarter. Y'all, I think it's bad. I think we need to slim things back down and go back to the old way that we used to do things, even if we cut it down to 6. That's just where I'm at on the whole G5 thing. I get tired of hearing about it. It's like a couple years ago when Cincinnati told us that they had the best defense in the country, and Alabama went out. They went in there and they ran it right down their damn throat, and they said, "Hey, we're gonna make you stop it," and they couldn't. Okay, it's just. That's how it is, man. The SEC is the best. That's the reason a 3-loss SEC team, maybe multiple 3-loss SEC teams are going, and a 2-loss SMU team, if they lose this weekend, could possibly be out of the college football playoff.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough for sure. Let's go over here and get to some of these. Yeah, that's wild. Let's get over here to get to some of these comments, man. Daniel says we might need to look for a kicker and a punter in the portal. You've got, I think his name's Sean Michael McGuire or Sean McGuire, something like that. The Sean Parker McGuire, something. Look, I got the commitment list right here. But he's out of Thompson. John Allen McGuire, Thompson, Alabama, 6'2", 205 punter. So, yeah, dude, you got him coming in. And, yeah, I've been saying this, Daniel, as far as the portal goes. I think Auburn needs to drop a bag. I think Auburn needs to go get the best kicker out of the portal. And I love McPherson. We all do. But we don't know what the future there is. Can he get healthy? Can he get right? And just for his life, I hope he does, football aside. But we got to find somebody that can get in here to get some kicks. You can't just depend on, Thomas Magoo's going to get better next year. Because if he comes out there and misses a couple versus Baylor, then you're right back in the same boat. So, yeah, I think Auburn. I wouldn't mind if, even though you're bringing in a kid from high school, I wouldn't mind if Auburn did go into the portal and get a kicker and a punter out of the transfer portal, Daniel. So I actually think Auburn does need to do that, at least with the kicker, and I wouldn't mind the punter.
I agree. I think you need. I think you need a damn special teams coach.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get it done this year. It was Oscar Chapman had a complete fall off. Go find somebody that can coach it up.
Yeah, punt return, kick return, it was all bad. Kick coverage, it was all bad. P-Pass says, I predict 6 overall, another deficit. Even if we did finish 6 overall, P-Pass wouldn't be mad at it. You go 5-7, and you still pull in the 6 overall class, wouldn't be mad at that at all. I think it would be a great job by Hugh Freeze and the staff. Yep. Die Hard War Eagle says, any rumors about QB portal? Are you kidding me? There's rumors everywhere, brother. The rumors are flying. It is officially QB portal clickbait season. The time is here. Anytime a guy enters the portal, somebody's heard that he's coming to Auburn. Caden Salter's coming to Auburn. Miller Moss is coming to Auburn. But we're going to sign 17 quarterbacks.
He's him. Yeah. That's him. That's it. No, he's him. No, him. No, him. No, him. And I'm like, hey. Even Hugh brought it up, y'all. In the middle of the year, he was like, man, you don't know how stressful it is, all these people tagging me on Twitter. And he was like, hey, Coach Hugh Freeze, this guy's him, brother. He threw for 3,800 yards out in the Pac-2. He's him. And I'm just like, hey, look, man, they'll evaluate it. We'll hear more. I still don't think a couple of people have entered the transfer portal just yet. We will be okay. We're going to get a guy, and – I simply just asked a question last night to throw it out there, and it was like, hey, could it be Miller time on the Plains? Miller Moss entered the portal, all right? Could it be Miller time? I never said I wanted him. You're an idiot. Miller Moss sucks. And I was like, where in that state did I say that I wanted Miller Moss? I just asked a question. No, you're an idiot. Miller Moss sucks. I'm like, okay, man.
Yeah. Nothing, diehard Regal, nothing substantial. There's nothing yet that I would say is out there that
Nah.
you need to get too excited about. Huggy says, had to show y'all some love. Now I got to get back to work. Y'all be blessed. We appreciate you always coming in here and watching, buddy. JD says, War, Deuce, Eagle, baby. Yeah, I think sometime in the next week or two, going to do an episode just on Deuce, kind of what he means to the class and what he brings to the table. But I want to wait. I don't want to jinx anything. I want to wait until he's officially part of the class before we do that. And then D says, Justice Terry to Auburn is what I'm hearing. We'll see, man. We'll see. I think he is Friday. Friday is going to be the day that he signs. So the way this currently works, JD, it being Tuesday and him deciding Friday, I would say there's a long time to go in that one. There's definitely going to be some more phone calls made, and we'll see how all that plays out. It could be trending in a different direction by the end of the week. And he also, Auburn might get in there, and he might be an Auburn Tiger. We'll see how it goes. Ant's in here. He's always supporting us, been rocking with us for a long time. We appreciate you, Ant. Doug says, Parker D. Lyman, an Opelika kid. He is talking about Jordan Crawford from Parker, and then Malik Autry from Opelika. And I think you're right, Doug. Those are big boys, and they are disruptive down there, and we're gonna need them. We're gonna need some big bodies down there. You think these guys crack the rotation next year?
Probably so, man. Probably so. Hopefully Malik stays. I think he sealed it up. Hopefully, the thing with Florida was just a flash in the pan. But yeah, they probably do get on the field, Dustin. And it's good to, you'll have a kid from your backyard right there in Opelika. Bang.
Yeah, gotta win
on the field
those.
for Auburn.
Gotta win those. Tim the Toolman Taylor says up tempo. We appreciate you always being here. James Lester says always enjoy listening, gentlemen. Well, thank you for always listening, James. Brad says we do need to sign 17 offensive tackles though. Real talk. Mm-hmm. Yes. We're definitely going to have to hit the portal. I would say probably for 2, man. You're probably going to have to go get 2 tackles out the portal. And money-wise, I would obviously quarterback's going to be where the biggest bag gets dropped in the portal. I would guess left tackle number 2, right?
Yeah, easily. And you can't miss this time. Can't miss this time. You can't. I thought Percy Lewis was going to be a massive get. I thought this is a guy that had played SEC football. This is a guy that had competed in hostile environments in the SEC, and it was just a bad year of football for Percy Lewis.
Yeah, it was tough, man. It was tough. Had to move Dylan back out there, and it was the whole thing. But Braden Joyner got in there and got some reps because of it, and he showed some promise. Doug says SEC sucks. Sorry, it's down. I mean, we'll see. Again, let's see if the Big Ten gets more players drafted. If there's any conference out there that gets more players drafted in this year's draft than the SEC, Doug, then I will agree with you here.
Doug, I disagree here, and I disagree big time.
I say that because I know the SEC is going to have most players drafted.
And I can tell you this, I don't think it was down last year. I just think the best team in the country lost their last game in the conference title game, and it kept them from winning a national championship. And I don't think it's down this year. I think it's so damn good that there's teams that are really, really good that have multiple losses on their record, because you're having to go to Knoxville and then to Sanford Stadium, and then you get Ole Miss at home, and then you got to go to Austin and all this. It's just everywhere, man. It's everywhere. And I see the comment, Oklahoma, their first year in the SEC, and they smacked up Alabama. Oh, hey, that's cool, man. This thing's a gauntlet over here. We've always said, any given Saturday in the SEC, if you don't bring your A game, you can get beat. And that goes with Vanderbilt. Hey, guess what? Vanderbilt, 6 wins. They're going to a bowl game this year. That's because the SEC is so good, man. Clark Lee can take Vanderbilt from winning 2 games a year to 6 games a year. The SEC is always and forever will be the best conference in America, and it's not close. Like you said, watch the NFL draft. Watch how many players get drafted out of the conference, and watch Sunday at noon. or 1 p.m. Eastern or whatever time zone you're in. Watch it. Pay attention to it. Monday Night Football. Pay attention to it. They're everywhere. I was watching the Titans, and it's, oh, what a big-time hit from Roger McCreary. And I'm like, hey, I was told the other day that, why is Auburn DBU?
Yeah, y'all don't have any DBs.
There's no DBs in, Come on now. Come on.
Arizona State and Iowa State are going to play in the Big 12 championship, correct?
Yep.
Guys, what would Auburn be if we played either one of their schedules? They're going to play for a playoff spot because the Big 12 is somehow, some way supposed to be comparable to the SEC. If Auburn played Iowa State or Arizona State schedule, get out of here, man. Like, just get out of here.
And
come on. Jar plays, runs all over them. KLS goes for 1,200. Like, just come on now. Come on.
Doug, I see your comment that you just hopped in here, man, and look, or the SEC is down. That's why Vandy won 6 games. I think the bottom of the SEC could be down. I think you're looking at Auburn down. Auburn wasn't good this year, 5-7. I think you were looking at Kentucky, who was also bad this year. Oh yeah, once again, Kentucky went to Vaught-Hemingway and won, right? Oh, hey, there you go. You got to bring it every Saturday in the SEC, baby. All right, that's my point. Northwestern and Ohio State rarely goes the other way, right? You ever hardly see Ohio State lose to Northwestern. But in the SEC, it's different, man. Vandy won 6 games because they got a hell of a head coach, and they went out and got one of the nastier quarterbacks in the country, man. Like, I don't think he's an NFL guy, but I think he fits the perfect triple option scheme in college football. That RPO, that triple option, man, that read option type stuff. Like, I thought he was really good at it, and that's what made Vandy special this year. Is they also went and got the tight end from New Mexico State, and he come over and had a great year. Like, that's what makes the SEC special. And I think if you were to sit down and ask Diego Pavia, hey, man, what's the best conference in America? I think he would tell you the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, and then we'll look at the recruiting rankings tomorrow. Let's see what conference dominates the top 10, top 15 of that. Since we're talking recruiting tonight, War Damn Eagle, how confident we keep this class together? Like we've been talking about this evening, man. Very, very confident. The confidence is sky high in Hugh Freeze, Will Redmond, NIL over there with the On to Victory, and all the work that they're doing is well put together and well run. And I just think that this staff has done an incredible job despite the ups and downs. And, when we kicked the ball off to begin the season, nobody thought Auburn was going to finish 5-7, at least nobody I talked to. And me and Blake damn sure didn't. But it happened. And yet, despite all that, and you just kind of expected every week, you're like, okay, this is the week you start seeing the decommitments. And it just didn't come because the staff has done such a good job of building relationships, building the foundation for this class to be what it is. So, and shout out to a guy like Malik Autry, man, the first one in the class, and then just all the guys that never, that stayed loyal. Eric Winters, and I got to go shout out my guy Ty Buster. I'm telling y'all, he's one of the most underrated guys in this class down there at the offensive line, the offensive lineman from North Carolina. So, really fired up. We'll be back Thursday just to kind of wrap everything up. I think that it's going to be a really, really fun day tomorrow, Blake, and I gotta say a little something real quick, man. We had a rivalry weekend last week, right, where there seemed to be, it was just hostile. It was just a lot of hostility out there. There was a lot of pushing and shoving going on. People trying to plant flags and all this. And I was told that the passion in this game was down. And I was told that NIL and the portal had killed it. And now the same people that I see saying that are now saying, this is bad for the game. We can't have this. This is a disgrace to college football. Well, you can't have it both ways. You want the kids to have some passion? What is Ohio State supposed to do? If you're a senior at Ohio State, you just went 0-4 versus Michigan. You work out on that field for 4 years. Practice on it, all that kind. That's your home field. You're just gonna let your rival come in and plant the flag? You can't do that. Can't let it happen. What I mean, I told y'all, Florida State's nasty. It always gets nasty. Florida State gets nasty every single year. Not surprised that it did this year. It is what it is. Look, college football this year, everything that we've heard about how the sport is in trouble and you know all these bad things. The portal is bad for the sport and the NIL is bad for the sport. I just saw one of the most entertaining college football regular seasons I've seen since 2007.
Yep.
Wrap up with the most entertaining rivalry weekend I've seen in a very long time. I see passion. I see fire. I see kids that care about beating their rival, that cared about protecting their home turf, and we're fired up. You know what? Everybody stood up in my house when the little scuffle happened on the sideline of the Iron Bowl. Got turned up a little bit. Nobody got hurt. Everything's okay. Everybody's fine. Let's just calm down, okay? A little bit of passion, good for the sport of college football. I thought it was fun. You can't have it happening every week, but how often does it really happen? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it just was one of them weekends, man. Everybody was feeling a little spunky, I guess. It was what it was, but look, I thought it was really, really fun, and I thought that this year it wasn't fun from an Auburn perspective. We never thought we were going to go 5-7, but I think that the sport of college football is in a very healthy spot. I'll continue to make the argument that my whole issue has been with the lack of rules. You know, like it just kind of being free for all. I think the calendar's super silly. You know, I think that the way just the portal and the recruiting signing day is stacked up with teams still going into the playoffs. You mentioned it last year. Who the hell has free agency open before the playoffs start in their sport?
Thank you, man.
Only college football does, and now you've expanded it to 12 teams, so it makes it even more goofier. They're like you got 8 other teams on top of the 4 got to go through it. It's just really kind of dumb. We got to get all that worked out, but I think that like the core of the sport is still very much intact, the passion, and I think we saw that last Saturday.
And you remember last year when Alabama got beat out of the playoffs and then Michigan won the national championship, everybody was going crazy because the portal windows had closed for everybody else, but everybody was like, hey, you know, now Texas's roster opens up. Now Washington's roster, Alabama's roster, and Michigan's roster all open up. So we get to go pluck people from these 4 rosters. Wow, this is crazy, you know? And I was like, hey, bro, how is that fair? How is that fair for this to happen? Not only has all these teams been plucking and talking to people, and they've, I want you out the portal, I want you, and you, and then all of a sudden these 4 teams come available because they're the last 4 to play, and their rosters are open a couple of extra weeks. And I'm like, why is free agency open right now? Like, look, I don't even think there should be 2 transfer portal windows. Like, I think there should just be 1. Like, you only get to transfer one time. And I don't want to see a DJ Uyunglele or whatever his name is go to 6 different schools. Like, I don't care to see that, man. I really don't. I think it's just there's some things in college football that we got to clean up and get a little bit tighter. But as far as like the play on the field, it can't get any better right now. Like, that's awesome. I think it's at the highest it's ever been, man, and it's a. I think I mean, just my opinion, that college football is just so much better than, like, it's just so much more passionate and like, than the NFL. Like, I'm not going to say better play because you know how I feel about that, Dustin.
It's night and day.
Yeah, it's not even close with the play on the field, but I think it's so much more better with the passion and the love of the game, and you see those fights that you talked about break out, and you see the scuffles over the flags and all that. Like, that's what makes college football great, man. And it's gotta continue. All these people who say, "Oh, stop doing that," and all that. No, man, let them kids do it. Let them kids, hey, let them go at it, man. Let them scrap at the 50. You know, it's teaching a lesson. Maybe Ohio State don't pay $20 million next year and get their ass whooped at home. You know, that's tough right there. But Look, last thing I'll say before we wrap this up, Dustin, and I'll let you close this out, man, is I wanted to give a huge, huge shout out to another man who committed to play at Auburn University and went through just a ton of crap while he was at Auburn. Head coaching changes, OC changes, not going to bowl games and going to Music City Bowls and losses to Cal, Maryland, teams like that, man. He wore the number 27, and I think he is one of the greatest to ever do it at our school. I hate that we could not be better for him. I hate that we could not use him more than what we did. I will forever remember Jarquez Hunter in the orange and blue, and I thank him for not transferring. I thank him for sticking it out, and I thank him for battling back from what happened before last year and the opening game of that 2023 season. And, sticking with us and showing love to Auburn. And I know that Twitter post hurt. I know, your last game as an Auburn Tiger and the team that gave you the opportunity to continue your career. And I'm sure there was an emotional locker room, man, but hopefully he gets picked up by the NFL and he gets drafted. And I know I saw him accept the invite to the Senior Bowl, and hopefully I can get an interview with Jarquez during the media opening here in Mobile, Alabama, and we can get that content out for you. But I'm going to truly miss 27, and I think it was another Tank Bigsby situation where you're going to see this guy. He wasn't used right at Auburn, and he's going to get in the NFL, and he's going to make somebody pay for passing up on him and letting him slide down a draft board. And as you see right now, Tank Bigsby working his tail off and basically took a man's job in the NFL in his second year. So shout out to Jarquez. Go get it done, man. Put the work in. We know what you're capable of, and thank you for picking Auburn University.
Yeah, agree with everything you said, buddy. Can't wait to watch Jarquez at the Combine. That just seems like
it's going to be elite.
Yeah, he's going to definitely put on a show there and display that athleticism. Can't wait for that. P. Pass missed a great point. Big hats off to Brian Battie as well. Yeah, we haven't brought that up yet on the show. Just really impressive, obviously. The fight that he has shown, I can't imagine losing your brother, everything that goes into that, having to dig deep and just get back right. Just the ability to walk out there, be with his team, everything that goes into that. Really impressive. I'm proud of the head coach, Hugh Freeze, and how he's handled it, standing by Brian's side, keeping him in the loop as a part of the team much as you can, and that kind of situation, continuing to check on it. I think it just kind of shows the man that Hugh Freeze is. I think it shows you why Auburn's going to sign a top 5 class tomorrow, because everyone that I've talked to that has met Hugh Freeze, talked to Hugh Freeze, swears by just the kind of human being that he is. Don't let the Twitter burners fool you and lie to you, and somebody with 18 followers that's an Ole Miss fan that's still pissed off about something that happened 10, 15 years ago. Don't let them get you all riled up, man. I've heard a lot of good things about Hugh, and I just think that the way he's handled the entire Brian Battie situation is impressive, but even more impressive is Brian himself and the fight that he's put in. We saw it on the football field, the kind of dog that Brian was, undersized, still running up in the A gap, B gap, not scared to take on contact. Think back to that A&M game, some of the hard runs he had last year at College Station. Kid's an absolute dog. The kid's an absolute warrior. His mom, his family, they're very strong. They're very impressive. So just big shout out to Brian Battie. Hope that you continue in your recovery, man. And the Auburn family is always going to be here to support and love on you. And I hope that we see him at Jordan-Hare Stadium next year, and the crowd can kind of welcome him and he can get the ovation that he rightfully deserves.
You hit the nail on the head, Dustin. Great stuff, man. Just the journey from us being told that he was possibly going to pass away, and you see him walking into the facility and addressing the team, man. That's God. That's God moving, man. That's God. And that's Brian. That's Brian's faith, man. That's him that's him and his relationship with the good Lord Jesus Christ, man. So that's the kind of miracles that can happen. And keep grinding, big fella. Keep grinding.
Yes, sir. Y'all smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back Thursday. Like Blake said, we're gonna drop that Duke pod for you guys, previewing Auburn's big match. We're going to Cameron Indoor for the first time ever. As the higher ranked team going to Duke as a higher ranked team, it's really good content we have with the Duke guys over there. Fired up to drop that for you. What you got, brother?
We also have one more member pod coming. I will post that one here in just a little bit. I think it's about 7-8 minutes long, Dustin.
Yeah, Eric Smith. Just looking at some Eric Smith film, the brother of Derek Smith. And then what I want to do for the members in the next couple of weeks is when guys were committing, we got a whole lot of junior film. We watched a lot of junior film as they committed because they hadn't played their senior year. So we're going to kind of circle back. I did my top 10 power rankings on the recruits before the year. Going to come back, look at that, and then do my new list and kind of see how that all played out. And then we're going to watch a whole lot of senior film. Like I said, we'll probably do a public show about Deuce Knight the next week or two, just what he's meant to this entire class, how important that win versus A&M was to kind of locking all that up. And then, who was it that Ole Miss lost to that day? Whoever it was. Big shout out to y'all. Florida. Yes. Billy. Thank you,
G5,
buddy.
baby, G5.
Thank you, buddy, so much. And now, you should have left Tavares Dice alone, but it is what it is. So, yeah, we'll wrap this one up, man. Love you guys. Appreciate y'all. Tomorrow's going to be a really good day for the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah.
War Damn Eagle, baby.
War Damn.